Tuesday, January 20th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Jacob Gramegna, and we have a great show for you today. It's Tuesday. You know what that means. We're finishing things off with Edgework Overtime. So Money. Alex Moretto, come on the show. Share some of their best bets for the NHL slate tonight. Breaking down the entire board, talking through all the hockey stuff you want to know. So if you have any questions, I know there's going to be questions in the chat. Feel free to drop them in the chat. Outside of that, we have an interesting show today. Got Anthony Dabbundo batting leadoff, talking some NFL, some Champions League. Then Isaac comes on, middle spot. Australian Open. He's going to have some bets for us. And I want to ask him about his recent viral tweet that was featured on Circle Back this past week. If you haven't seen it, you are going to be... it's a funny tweet. It's a funny tweet. And if you haven't seen Circle Back, what are you doing? Go back, watch Circle Back yesterday. It was a good show. It's now been like 36 hours since Luke Wilson said he's going to step away from the conversation, log off for a bit. He has since...
It was hiatus.
Sorry. He's going to take a little hiatus. I think he's tweeted like 1,000 times since then. So.
As of 22 minutes ago, he's still going.
He wants to close the loop. Minus 1,000, the loop doesn't get closed. That's what I'll say. And he'll still be tweeting about it. Anyways, if you don't get that reference, if you don't know what's going on, watch Circle Back. But don't do it right now. Watch it after the show. A lot to talk about today. Got to recap the national championship. What a game.
That was great.
What an absolute great game. Corby sent me something. Fun note, if the market had not adjusted to Indiana's playoff run, their spread and total opener would have been closer than the closing number itself. I believe the look-ahead line for that game was around 5.5. I think the look-ahead total was around 48.5. He said, fuck adjustments. Because every time he comes on this show, I ask him, do you make any adjustments? So I had to shout out Corby for that one. Good look there on the plus 7.5, which we talked about yesterday. Same thing with Austin. Also mentioned that plus 7.5. He was close with the Miami running back first rushing touchdown. Didn't get in, though. Malachi Toney looks incredible. Yep. I will say that. Carson Beck, don't know how that guy's still playing. A Bella Danger could not get them over the hill. How many people do you think got in trouble yesterday watching that game and being like, oh my God, that's a Bella Danger, like the little, I can't whistle, but the Leo meme, yeah. The Leo meme.
I when I first saw, because I only watched the second half because I had a soccer game. When she first appeared on the screen, I just went, oh. I was like, wait, it was so quick that I couldn't quite register what I just saw. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, good cover up there with.
I wasn't with.
The fiance wasn't there. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people got in trouble with that one. Yeah, it was a good game though. Great for Fernando Mendoza. Love Kirk Signetti. Love his story. Love the balls he has. He's good. He essentially is going to reshape the way that or I guess the transfer portal for college football. He maximized it, made the most of it, got as much juice and squeeze out of that lemon, out of that transfer portal. I think a lot of teams are going to be starting to do things differently. I also thought it was interesting yesterday. Saban was talking about the recruiting process and how the star rating system is just completely all wrong. And previously in the transfer portal, it was all about, it seems like these marquee teams, these blue blood teams, were looking to get the five-star transfer, the former five-star recruit, to be on their team. But now that we know, basically some of these websites like 24/7 Sports, they only give the 4 and 5 stars because of who's recruiting them. Somebody pointed out I think Saban pointed out on Twitter, or maybe it wasn't Saban. Someone pointed out on Twitter that 24/7 Sports didn't have Josh Jacobs ranked before he committed to Alabama. And then when he committed, and when Alabama committed to him, he instantly became a 4-star recruit. So that's pretty interesting stuff there. Yeah, pretty interesting. We'll see if that stuff evolves at all. Before we get into things, before we bring on Anthony, just want to give you a quick shout out to our sponsors, our friends over at BetStamp. If you've been on the fence about trying BetStamp Pro, this is the cheapest and easiest way you're going to get in all year. They're running a postseason special right now, 1 week of BetStamp Pro, 50% off the normal weekly price. That gives you full access to every single screen, odds feeds, and market for the entire week. That's props, main markets, alt lines, plus all major prediction markets, including full order book history, so you can actually see how these markets are trading. This is the same screen syndicates and betting groups used to identify scalable plays and stay ahead of the market. Available for a limited time, this is the lowest commitment way to try it during the biggest betting month of the year. Scan the QR code on screen to click the link in the description, betstamp.com/hammer. Bless you, Jacob. Yeah, you guys should be getting BetStamp Pro. I'm supposed to promote them, but like, listen, if you don't want to sign up for it, it's less competition for me, and I'm not going to complain, but it's, if I can do it, you can too.
I can confirm it was an extremely successful NFL season using BetStamp Pro.
Yeah, and I honestly, I mostly just stick to NBA. I find NBA to be even better. So if, again, less competition for me, I'm not going to complain, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you at least don't try it out. All right, let's get into the show today. We're going to lead off with Anthony. He's a writer, podcaster over at The Ringer. Haven't had him on in a while. Excited to talk to him here. Anthony, how's it going, my friend?
I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Excited for a really fun week of sports. If you're into some of the, maybe less popular ones like soccer, I know you're having Isaac on later to talk tennis. It's a great week for those sports.
Yeah, it's like everything's starting to overlap right now. We still have NFL, NBA, NHL. We got Aussie Open, golf's starting up again soon. And Champions League as well this week. I want to talk to you about Champions League. Before I do that, I want to quickly ask you just about this NFL coaching cycle, because today we got some tweets coming out about McDermott, the Bills, and Bean. Because when I saw McDermott was fired, I was pretty shocked to see Bean still there. Now it seems like McDermott's agent is like running cover, maybe saying, "Hey, McDermott had a meeting with Bean saying like we don't like the supporting cast," which I get. One, are you shocked that Bean survived his role as the GM of Buffalo and is going to be leading the charge, looking for the next head coach? And two, who do you think is the best fit to be the next head coach for Buffalo? And I guess three, do you think McDermott should have been fired?
I think I'll start with the first one. Yes, McDermott probably had overstayed his welcome. And I think this was the year where the dam finally broke for all of these AFC teams who have been close and close and close, but never really got over the hump. And you could always make the excuse, oh, well, Mahomes. We keep losing to Mahomes. But when Mahomes isn't even in the picture and the Ravens still falter, they have to make a change. And the Bills still falter, they have to make a change. And certainly you would be hard-pressed to blame Sean McDermott for anything, I think, that happened in the loss on Saturday. I think it falls squarely on Josh Allen and on Brandon Beane. But this is not a first-time issue. I mean, we have seen his defense time and time again in those big situations just kind of come up short. So I don't think it's that surprising. But as far as the second part of the question, who do I want to hire? I think it's really interesting because I think generally the league skews toward the next offensive guru. But when you have Josh Allen, I almost think that gives you a free pass to go try to find the next Mike McDonald, perhaps, the next defensive guru, the next coach that can pair what you already know is going to be a great offense in Josh Allen and this Bills offense. Every year he's been the quarterback basically the last 5. They've been a top 5 unit. Maybe you pair that with a defense who's more schematically sound, who's able to play better against elite competition. And so the name that I keep coming back to is Jesse Minter. I know he's been around the mix in some of the different interviews, not sure where he's going to end up, but Minter was one that I landed on as probably the first choice if you were asking me. And then the third one with Brandon Beane, how he's kept his job. Look, I've never worked in corporate America, but from what I hear from friends who do, there are plenty of incompetent people at the higher levels of management who are really good at managing up, who are really good at knowing how to play the game, so to speak. And my old colleague Ben Solak had a funny tweet yesterday. They've drafted 2 Pro Bowlers since drafting Josh Allen. That's insane how bad of a job they've done building this roster.
Yeah, no, it's been a terrible job for them. Dalton Kincaid is like by far their best pick, first round pick though, 16th overall. It's kind of hard to miss a pick like that. They get James Cook in I think the 3rd round, which is like obviously great to get a good running back, but like how much of James Cook's success in being a Pro Bowl player hinges on the fact that he simply just plays with Josh Allen, like who his rushing threat really threatens things and opens things up for the running back there. Also with McDermott, defensive-minded head coach, we haven't seen any of that. Like it's all of these losses in elimination games, 27 points or more the opposing team put up. So I mean, if you're going to do that, like what's the purpose here? I'm just again shocked that Bean is sticking around for this next cycle. Minter would be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens next there. I really thought, I know Stefanski signed on the Saturday, but like if Stefanski just held out 1 or 2 more days, I think he might have been the perfect fit here. If the Browns don't hire Schwartz, I think bringing him over with Stefanski would have been like a match made in heaven for this Bills team. Let's move over and talk some conference championship stuff. Seen a lot of movement in the Broncos-Pats game. Very hard to quantify Jarrett Stidham, the difference between him and Bo Nix. We originally moved out to -6-ish New England. Come back to like around -4.5 right now. Where do you think this settles? Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, so without adjusting for the injury to Nix, I would have had Denver as a slight favorite here. Look, I'm not the biggest Bo Nix fan. I think it's really hard to make the case that he's worth 5.5 points to a spread. That seems crazy to me, especially because, one of the stories of the first 2 years of Bo Nix's career has been that it's a very quarterback-friendly offense. The way they design it, the way that he's not asked to make a ton of complex decisions. Certainly, Bo adds a lot out of structure. And when the game becomes backyard football-esque, I think that's when Nix is at his best. And you're probably not going to get that with any reliability from Jarrett Stidham. So that's certainly a risk. But, I took Denver 5.5, small, nothing crazy, because I just don't really agree with the market moving that far. And I've been kind of lower than the market on the Broncos all season long. It's definitely hurt me and my wallet over the course of the year. But, it just feels like a bit of an overreaction, especially in a game that should be played in pretty low total. We know Denver has the pass rush to bother Drake May, and that's really been the story. Like these 2 playoff pass rushes that he's played, he's not played that well in these 2 games. And a lot of it, I think, is that they played a lot of bad defenses during the regular season that weren't able to get pressure, and May was able to sit there and yes, he took some sacks, but yes, he was also able to push the ball down the field with tremendous efficiency. We haven't really seen the efficiency down the field as much. We've seen flashes of it in these playoff games, but they haven't been able to get consistent protection, and you've seen a lot more of the mistakes. So, can Denver run the ball effectively outside the tackles, stay close here, not ask Stidham to do too much? I think yes. So I took some small Denver at 5.5.
All right, I love that. Small Denver 5.5 right now, -115 over at FanDuel. Been bouncing back between that 4.5, 5.5 range. Haven't touched the 6, which we saw earlier in the week. But we'll see what Stidham can do with this offense. And Drake, I've talked about this a lot on the show. The Patriots have had far and away one of the easiest paths maybe ever to the Super Bowl, just based on their season and who they're playing. The Broncos, okay, maybe not with Stidham, but if it was with Bo Nix, might have been the hardest team, the toughest team that they've had to face on their entire run. Definitely the toughest defense that they're going to be facing. We'll see how Drake May and that offensive line can handle that pass rush. Let's move over and talk the NFC conference game, conference championship game, which is being billed as the Super Bowl, basically. A lot of people think that this is the Super Bowl. I saw some look-aheads that both Rams and Seahawks first, the Pats would be around 3.5, and then Rams and Seahawks against the Broncos would be around 8.5. So big favorites there, depending on who wins. Regardless of who wins, the NFC conference championship game. I've noticed Mike Macdonald's done pretty well coaching against this Shanahan tree. How do you think this defense will match up versus the McVay offense, and what do you see happening in this game?
Yeah, I mean, really the 2 games could not have been more different. I mean, usually when you have a rubber match like this, yes, both games were close. One decided by 2 points, one decided by 1 point. Both games really could have swung on one play. The first game being decided on a punt that was landed at the 1. The second game being decided essentially on a 2-point conversion fluke that bounced off of a receiver and then bounced into the end zone, which is weird on that game. So ultimately, I think the Seattle defense is the most reliable unit in this game, especially at home. I agree with them being a small favorite. Now, I think the problem that I come back to consistently is if Seattle does fall behind, how much faith do we have in this offense to play from behind? Because I think the biggest kryptonite we've seen with the Rams, and we'll see with Emmanuel Forbes, is just that they have been pretty shaky in their secondary, especially in the second half of the season. where consistent pass offenses and even inconsistent ones have found a ton of success just throwing the ball all over the yard. And one of them being Sam Darnold in this very spot. I mean, how many people were writing the Seahawks obituary in the third quarter of that Thursday night football game saying, Sam Darnold did it again, right? So I think Seattle's the marginally better team. They were the marginally better team in the box score in the first game. Better team, I think, at home here. So I would lean with Seattle, but I'm not dying to lay like a minus 130 here. So I may just sit this out.
Yeah, no, for sure. Maybe sit this one out here. And obviously the Seahawks curb stomped the Niners, but like wonder to see how different that game goes if they don't get that opening kickoff touchdown, which again, like you said, Seahawks love to play from ahead and are a very suffocating team when playing from ahead. But
Yes.
we've seen them struggle is when things get close, when they have to play from behind, when Sam Darnold's kind of forced to be great in bigger moments. Let's move over and talk some Champions League stuff. We're in the last day of the league phase. Any matchups you're focusing on this week? I know there's games happening right now.
Yeah, we got Club Brugge 4-0 against Kairat Almighty in that one. It's a fun week. I think next week is the week where you get the 18 simultaneous matches all on the final day, and you have to break out like the pundit squares to figure out which game matters and which game doesn't, and pull out your tables and decide how these games matter. I think the one game that I have my eye on today is Tottenham against Dortmund, only because Tottenham comes into this game in a weird spot. I think a lot of people are surprised the manager still has his job. He was another loss over the weekend for Thomas Frank and Tottenham. So it's like, all right, he's got a ton of injuries to deal with. They are slight home dogs. I think it's really hard to even quantify what Tottenham is here because of all the injuries. They have been one of the worst teams in the Premier League this year by expected goal difference. They're down around 15th. Dortmund traditionally has not been great away from home in these Champions League spots either. I still kind of like Dortmund. I know there's like a pick'em minus 124 out there that I don't mind, just because, again, I think we've kind of reached the point of no return for Tottenham. They don't even have enough players, homegrown players, to satisfy the UEFA club squad situation. So they're playing with essentially a short bench today, given all the injuries and all the squad shortcomings that they have. And both teams are sitting right around the same spot in the table, around 10th or 11th. And the key being that if you get into the top 8, you get a bye into the next round. Now, I think what's interesting here is everything is so jumbled that it's not really worth looking into like, oh, this team's in 6th and this team's in 9th, because by the end of the day, there's only 1 or 2 points separating these two teams. I ultimately think, though, Arsenal-Inter tomorrow will be a really good test because neither team really needs the game. And that can mean one of two things. Either we see Arsenal rotate and then, the market's going to move off of that, or we see both of these teams not really give the same level of intensity, maybe could lead to a higher scoring game. I know traditionally Arsenal, their defense so elite. Inter is pretty good defensively too. Arsenal and Inter could end up playing. There's a lot more variance in these kind of matchups because of the format of the competition that says, hey, you don't really need to win this game. It's more about just maintenance.
Yeah, so maybe a little bit about of them laying back a little bit, not being as aggressive, I don't want to say trying as hard, but yeah, this is sort of a do-nothing game for both teams there. Any futures you've looked at that you like that are still out there, still available, that you want to take a stab at?
Yeah, I think the question is going to be, do you buy PSG a little cheap here? I mean, they're down at plus 750, plus 800 I saw in the market. We saw PSG reach unbelievable heights last summer, and I think they kind of paid the price for it, right? They win the Champions League. They have that dynamo run in the second half of the season. Dembele goes, he wins the Ballon d'Or. They go all the way to the Club World Cup final. They come back from preseason. They had basically no time off. They had a ton of injuries in the fall. And so now PSG has kind of drifted a little bit in the market. Arsenal, Bayern, clearly the top 2 teams by anybody who power rates these things, and I agree with the market on that front. But the question is, could PSG, as they start to peak toward the end of the season, they get to not worry too much about Ligue 1 to the same level because, let's be honest, it's Ligue 1, and they prioritize Champions League. This is still the same team talent-wise, same manager, same group, and a pretty young group at that got, all the way to the final and comfortably won the final last year. So do you think that PSG can re-peak again? I think the answer is yes. We're starting to see some underlying signs in their XG data. Again, it's against French teams that suggest that maybe they're figuring some things out here. I think PSG is probably the best buy on the board. The 2 Spanish teams this year just look the same to me as last year. Real Madrid just fired their coach, and they're tactically sorting some things out. I don't think their front 3 is ever going to quite work the way it needs to be a true elite. Barcelona, same defensive problems, not going to travel well in the knockouts. So I think right now PSG is the team to buy if you're looking to buy anybody.
All right, PSG, the team to buy, plus 700 right now over on FanDuel. I'm going to ask you to do a pretty impossible job right now, but I have to ask you regardless. Try and predict the finals for the Champions League. Give me who you think is going to be there at the end of the day.
Yeah, the old format lended itself to more chaos because you could just get a team that ran a good draw.
Yeah.
Like Inter a few years ago made the final, didn't really have to play that good of a team. They played Napoli, they played Milan, they kept drawing the Italian sides and winning. In the new format where it is kind of seeded out, where the 1 to 8 and then the 1 potentially plays the 8, the 2, the 7, etc. It is harder, I think, for Cinderella type runs. Now, last year, being the exception to that, PSG was the 16 seed. Anybody who watched PSG in the second half knew that wasn't the case, including the market. But I think ultimately, I'm going to go Arsenal and PSG to make the final. Something about Bayern I still don't quite trust against the big sides. So Arsenal and PSG are probably the two best right now in terms of making the final. We'll have to see how the bracket shakes out. They could end up on the same half of the bracket by the time this is all said and done, and then I'll look pretty stupid. So we'll get a bracket in about a week's time. Yeah. And we'll have to sort it out from there. That's
why it's an impossible job, and that's why I had to ask regardless. Before you head out, a question from the chat here. Charles Saul is asking me to ask you how you feel after Monfils' final Australian Open match. Maybe you can fill me in on the bit here.
How did I know that Charles was going to ask me that? Yeah, I mean, Gael Monfils is my favorite tennis player ever, one of my favorite athletes of all time. I think that there are very few people in sporting history who have embraced the beauty of their sport and the entertainment value while also winning. I mean, Monfils probably never reached the heights that people thought was set for him, and he grew up in the era with the 3 greatest tennis players of all time, which certainly hurts that ability. But Monfils is one of the main reasons I became a tennis fan. He's somebody that I've gotten to watch and grow up with essentially over these years. And now he's doing this goodbye tour. And I'm just, I was up till, 3:00 last night watching his match. Gael will always have such a place in my heart. And I'm glad that he's going to get this year-long send-off. Not sure how many matches he's actually going to win, but it's not really about that anymore.
Yeah, no, it's about the story. Yeah. Great stuff there. Good to know. Again, I'm not the biggest tennis guy. I don't know too much, but
Allez la Monf.
Oh, there we go. Allez la Monf.
Yeah.
Anthony, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome stuff there from Anthony. As always, great stuff there. Hopefully you got your little Champions League. Chat's got their Champions League fix. Charles, I see you always. Appreciate all the questions we can get in the chat. Well, this is as I like to say, this is as much your show as it is my show. You guys are a part of this show as well, so don't be afraid to drop those questions in the chat. Got Isaac coming on in just a second here. Before we do that, just got to give you a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every night, and now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. Here's how it works. Build any college hoops parlay you like. The early tip, the rivalry game, the ranked matchup, the late night West Coast shootout, mixed spreads, totals, props, whatever fits your read of the slate. Then just apply your profit boost and instantly bump up that potential payout. Go safe, go spicy, go with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Open the FanDuel app, put together your college basketball parlay, apply a profit boost, and you are good to go. Because every night in college hoops brings something wild, and a boosted parlay is the perfect way to ride that action. Head to FanDuel.com/forward progress to get started. FanDuel, play your game, must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and Philly, Kansas Star Casino, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China, Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Like I said, we got a great show for you today. Excited to bring on. Had a great time with Anthony for the first guest. Excited to bring on our next guest. He's a sports bettor writing about sports betting. Isaac, how's it going, my friend?
Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. It's been a while since we chatted. Excited to get into things, though. Anything new for you? Let's talk me through this. Last time I talked to you, I think it was like your birthday in like September.
Yeah, it was my birthday. We had a good time. Nothing really new. On the tennis calendar, pretty barren. Starting off the year with the Australian Open now, so that's exciting. I'm sad I got to go back and rewatch Anthony's picks, and I hope we have someone who's grading me versus him, so we can see who comes out on top at least for this crop of picks. We got some bangers coming up for sure. I was in the chat. I don't know if I just hopped in. Who's ready for some bangers? Let's go.
All right, let's do this. Is that you saying big bomb bangers? There we go. There
Yes,
we go.
Sir.
All right.
Big bomb bangers only.
Before we get into things, though, I have to ask you. You were featured on Circle Back this past week. You had a great tweet. Thought it was pretty interesting. You had a friend here who hooked up a Claude bot to DraftKings is one of his accounts, and it said anytime you won a big bet, Claude would go make a big purchase on Amazon. So I have to ask: has your friend won a big bet yet? If so, what's he ordered? And if he hasn't won yet, what's like at the top of his list?
I actually was just texting him about this, and there might be a tweet incoming, so I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But I thought Jacob hit the nail on the head where, like, in one sense, it's obviously ridiculous. On the other sense, if you're the kind of person who you're going to drain that account anyway, like I think the big question that I asked him, which he didn't clarify, was whether or not he withdraws the money from his account to do it or if he just buys it separately, right? Like I think if you withdraw the money from the account to buy it, then it actually can be a good move as opposed to just keep dumping more. But he's definitely a degen, but I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's had any big winners just yet, so I'll waiting for him to text me.
All right, excited to see that tweet. You can follow Isaac on Twitter at roundrobin42. Also, I just realized your YouTube handle is not Isaac42, so it's all right. Let's
get on their toes.
Yeah, you got to keep everyone on their toes. Let's get into the matchups for the Australian Open this week. You have you sent me a couple bets here. I don't know where you want to start. Maybe we'll start with an underdog who you like here in Emilio Nava. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, so this one is it's as much a hatred of Cam Norrie as it is pro Emilio Nava. He's a good player, but I'm always looking to fade Cam Norrie early on. This is a pretty good price. He is from New Zealand, so pretty close to Australia. But yeah, anytime I can get a good price on fading Cam Norrie with someone with a decent serve, I'm looking into it.
All right, Emilio Nava plus 215 is the first bet we're taking on the board on the money line there. Next game we got is going to be you're looking at Daniel Medvedev. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Medvedev. Daniil Medvedev. We got two Medvedev bets for you.
All right.
First one is in his match tonight versus I never can pronounce this guy's name right. It's French, but Quentin Helys. I don't know how to pronounce the French names, whatever. But yeah, Medvedev on the money line, he's pretty long. He's like, minus 9,000, but I like the first set spread. I think he's going to destroy Helys, even though I'm a fan of him. So I like the set one handicap at minus 1.5 at minus 168. FanDuel's got an incredible price there. So big fan of that bet. And then to double up on that one, I like the future on Medvedev to win the tournament and outright at plus 2,200 right now. FanDuel's got, I think, roughly the best price in market. Obviously, a long shot. You got Alcaraz and Sinner dominating, but if one of them doesn't take it, Medvedev's been in good form as of late. So I'm a Med fan. I'm happy to ride here at plus 2,200.
All right. Two bets you gave out there, minus 1.5, minus 168 for the match tonight for Medvedev.
For the first set. Yeah, first set.
First set for the first set. And then, of course, like you mentioned, Aussie Open winner, 22-1 over at FanDuel. We have two more bets for you guys. Okay.
Yeah,
Is one an SGP, or do you want those separate?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got two more bets. So one is this match, Tommy Paul versus Thiago Agustin Tirante. I like both the first set money line for Tirante at plus 320 and the money line at plus 800. Obviously long shots, but FanDuel's got a great price on those. Tommy Paul's had some trouble in first rounds in the past. The heat's acting up. Tirante's grinder, so I think he could do some damage there. And then the last one, just because I wanted to give out a bunch. I don't know how many Anthony gave out. I want people to, be able to choose from what they want. We got a big bomb banger here. It's an SGP of Alex de Minaur versus Haman Medjedovic. And I like Medjedovic to take the first set and de Minaur to cover the game spread. So some anti-correlation there. And that little SGP comes in at plus 1,000.
All right. So Medjedovic to win the first set.
Yeah, you don't got to pronounce these names. Just throw a few letters together with these Serbians, and yeah, you hope it's good.
And then de Minaur on the game handicap minus 6.5. I'm sure the chat is getting a kick out of me trying to pronounce some of these tennis names because deeper down the board. I don't really know.
I can't even do it, and I watch these guys, so it's all good.
I want to ask you about. I mean, I know you gave out Medvedev at 22-1 to win the Open, but I want to ask you about Sinner versus Alcaraz, because I feel like it's just every single tournament feels like there's like a very good likelihood that these two match up together. So looking ahead to their eventual matchup, if they do match up, who do you think has the advantage in that matchup?
I mean, I'm an Alcaraz fan, so I want to say Alcaraz, but the market says Sinner. I think if they get to the final right now, they have it. It's probably going to be about plus 140ish Alcaraz, something in that range. I'll be betting Alcaraz probably at post there because the market keeps moving against him whenever they play. But I'll be on Alcaraz. I think a lot of people will be on Sinner. It's going to be a close match, and just hoping for some great tennis there.
All right, I love it. What have you been doing in the off season, or in like your off season? I guess in the tennis off season. What's been new with Isaac?
A lot of writing, some research. Been going to some schools and talking to kids about gambling, which is always fun. The kids are gambling.
You need to specify that you're not there promoting gambling.
To be clear, I'm not. I don't know if there's no referral codes there. Just trying to help the kids, be aware and understand, some of the risks. Obviously, it can be fun, but just helping them understand it as well. And doing some writing here and there, trying to have some funny tweets as well. But it's nice to get into the back into betting, although obviously it can be stressful too.
Of course. What's number one on your Amazon wish list for you to purchase after a big bet that you win?
For me, it's a tough question. I've been really into candles recently.
Okay.
And the problem with the candles is that they burn out quickly. So I feel bad about getting myself nice candles, but I really appreciate it. So I actually have a few on my Amazon wish list. May or may not be related to if I win some bets, but they've been on there for a little while. I feel bad about pulling the trigger. All
right. The Candleman Isaac, I absolutely love that. Any final thoughts before you head out for the Aussie Open, or anything else regarding just, sports betting as a whole? I know you write your articles about this stuff. Maybe a teaser for your upcoming article here?
I got nothing too spicy, except if, Daniil Medvedev somehow wins this tournament, you guys might not be hearing from me. I'll be on an island somewhere. So that's it.
All right. Sounds good. Hopefully I'm rooting for that because I'm playing that with you as well. Isaac, I appreciate you joining the show. I appreciate you coming on. Also, Chosen Sports in the chat saying, bro, hit up our candle shop. We need more context here. I don't know if we have a candle shop. I don't know if he's an artisanal candle salesman.
I'm a sucker for you guys. If people knew how much I spent on candles every year, it's fucking criminal. It's like it's really bad. It's brutal.
You can never spend too much on candles. Isaac, I appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon. Hopefully we'll get you on for a couple more times before the Australian Open ends.
Sir.
We'll chat soon. Great stuff there from Isaac. Quick recap of the board. Maybe Jacob can help me with these pronunciations because I know you're a better pronunciation guy.
Sure.
Than me, but Emilio Nava plus 250. Emilio Nava plus 215 on the money line here versus Cameron Norrie.
Sorry, Emilio.
Yeah,
okay.
You're good. Good. Daniil Medvedev.
Yep.
Set one. Game handicap -1.5, -168. All these prices are at FanDuel, by the way. I'm going to talk through this a little slower so that you guys can hear it as well. Thiago Augustin Tarante against Tommy Paul. Set one winner plus 320. And we're going to take him on the money line as well at plus 800. And then the SGP is Hamad Medjedovic versus Alex de Minaur. Medjedovic, set one winner. De Minaur, game handicap at -6.5. Little bit of
it was a real speed run.
Yeah,
through those bets.
I know. I was hoping that he would give us a little bit more, but I know Isaac doesn't even do this stuff himself. He has his little quant in the background running numbers for him, and then he just says, "Quant, give me those numbers," and then he fires them off for us here. That's 10-1 on that SGP. Oh yes, and then Medvedev to win the Australian Open at 22-1 over at FanDuel. Chosen Sports, drop that in the chat. My family runs a candle shop. I can't read whether on IG. Harley Ray on IG if you want to look. Yeah. Send us the link. Send me the link. I'll send it over to Isaac. We always listen. You guys support us. We want to support you. I didn't know Chosen was in New York though. Isaac's in New York, so I don't know how far Isaac's gonna have to go to get those candles. But maybe you can order them online. Who knows?
I don't know.
Anyways, hopefully we can. All right. We got our next guest coming on in just a minute. Do we have guest line today?
Yeah.
We do have guest line
do.
today. Before we do guest line, though, there's some crazy stuff happening on a corner of the internet that you guys might not have heard about. It's in our Discord, discord.gg/hammer. If you're not in the Discord, you are, without a doubt in my mind, missing out. We have 1,600 members, over 1,600 members. It is absolutely cooking. It's a place to chat during the games. Creators are in there sharing bangers, sharing bets, and so is our Hammer audience. I heard they sometimes have some calls, G-Stack George and some other guys, conference calls with E-Colt, just to talk through the slate of games and give out some of their favorite bets. So join us at discord.gg/hammer and see what you've been missing out on. You're going to want to join us there at discord.gg/hammer. Chosen, also drop the shameless plug in the Discord as well. I know Chosen Sports is in the Discord quite a bit. So yeah, it's good to know. If you guys want bets, come to the show. If you want candles, come to the show as well. We got everything for you. Before we do guess the line, I don't ask this stuff that often in the middle of the show, but I have to do it anyways. Do us a huge favor, if you can. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. If someone you know likes betting on tennis, likes betting on the NFL, likes betting in general, likes betting on hockey, likes betting on the Champions League, send them the show. They might get something out of it. It's a good show today so far. We don't know what Alex is going to do when he comes in here and ruins things. He might do that. He's done very well in the NHL this year. I hate giving him credit, but it's been a good show so far. All right, let's play a little game called Guess the Line.
All right, guess the line. You know the drill at this point. 3 lines to guess, 3 guesses per line. Jason's trying to figure it out. We're going to start off with Brandon Podziemski. Points, rebounds, and assists. Over under. As the Warriors host the Raptors.
Is this the guy who was the former lacrosse player turned NBA player, or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't know.
There's a guy on the Golden State Warriors who used to play lacrosse. He was like an incredible lacrosse player, and he just said, fuck it, I'm going to play basketball instead. Maybe it's not Podziemski.
There are some lacrosse highlights when I search up Podziemski lacrosse, so it's possible.
Okay.
Did not know that, if it's true.
Look at that. Look at me knowing more NBA stuff than you is crazy. Not about the game itself. It's all the off-court stuff. But
I don't know for sure, but maybe. Anyways, guess the line.
Is anyone hurt or inactive today that I need to know about?
Jimmy Butler tore his ACL, so he is probably inactive.
Okay, I would say he is inactive then.
Flupp would say he's questionable.
Questionable. There you go. He gets a chance to play this week.
He's a chance.
I'm going to guess he's like on the higher end here. I'm going to guess he's like 3rd or 2nd on the team in points, rebounds, and assists. Maybe I'm off here. He starts, right?
He probably will be now, but
yes.
He was coming off the bench.
Yes, okay. Well, with the Jimmy Butler stuff, I'm going to assume he's starting. This might be off, but like 32.5.
Lower.
Okay. The way you said that makes me think it was way lower, so 22.5.
22.5.
There we go.
Good job.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Second line is Cortland Sutton on his receiving yards.
Quick thing about Cortland Sutton, not to do with guess the line. How the fuck is this guy a Pro Bowl receiver? How did this guy make the Pro Bowl this year? He had the most like pedestrian season ever. Like it's just
a lot of people make the Pro Bowl that you kind of think.
But it's just like Alec Pierce had like similar stats to him. Like, and Alec Pierce missed 2 games. Like Cortland Sutton's not that great of a receiver. Cortland Sutton officially overrated. Receiving yards.
I can tell you one key inactive in this game.
Who, Bo Nix?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a direct correlation on Cortland Sutton.
Is Troy Franklin playing?
Not sure.
I actually don't know that either. I should probably be looking into that stuff. I should be knowing that stuff.
G-Stack says 45.5.
I was thinking in the 40s range, and I got to go there, but I got to go like somewhere opposite of G-Stack, so I'm going to go one lower, 44.5.
Higher.
52.5.
Lower.
Oh, if it's 45.5, I'm going to freak out. Is it 46.5?
51.5.
Oh, okay.
You almost got on your second guess.
G-Stack threw me off. That's the problem. there.
You throw yourself off. You let things throw you off.
I do. You're right. You're right. I let these things get to my head. Yeah. Well, there we go. Mark Horan comes in at the buzzer, 51.5.
Well,
nails
he
it.
got it in time.
He got it in time. There's a little bit of a delay for us here. So.
Last one. San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets. Good old interstate battle. Near the top of the West. We have the total in this one. Over under.
Over under. All right. Well, the total. I know that Wemby plays for the Spurs.
He does.
And the Spurs have been hot recently.
They've had a good season.
They've looked really good so far. Rockets, I don't know too much. How's their season been going?
I told you last week, so I don't want to tell you again.
Okay. All right. What did you say? Let's go with 230.5.
Lower.
219.5.
Higher. And G-Stack in the chat put 222.5.
Is it 220? Like, I close the chat for a second. I'm kidding. 224.5.
221.5.
It's just G-Stack.
You got one.
G-Stack knows the answers, and he's doing this to throw me off.
You got one at least.
Yeah. I nailed that one. That was close.
First one was pretty good.
Yeah. I was one off of Cortland Sun with my second guess, so I thought I did pretty well. Excited to talk some NHL stuff today. We got a ton of games on the board. I'm sad that edge work happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays because, sorry, Alex just has something on his shoulder. I'm like, wow, we're going to talk about that. No, keep it on. We're going to talk about this in just a second here. No, I'm sad that Edgework does Tuesdays and Thursdays because a little homecoming for Mitch Marner for Alex's favorite player coming in on the Friday. So we're not going to be able to talk about that, which is a little sad. Maybe we'll talk about that on the Tuesday after if it's still in the media cycle by then. But I'm sure it will be. What will we talk about? I don't know. Just them, the Leafs fans, booing. We'll see who wins that game. Maybe the script is overtime game. Marner scores. Bet that in the first Vegas Leafs game, 80-1. Didn't happen, but it was close. It was close. All right. I need to bring Alex up here right now because like what is going on? What is this?
Have you ever seen a heating pad before?
Not like that. Do you have like an injured shoulder?
Put it
like
in the microwave, and then you, it helps your neck, your shoulders, sitting at the desk a long time, You gotta
get like a standing desk then, no?
I have one actually. This thing comes right up, but laziness also factors into things, and I'm just like really tall, so even like standing, sometimes it's hard to find a standing desk where I'm not like still somewhat looking down,
All right. Okay. All right. Fair. I also guess standing desks don't really go high enough for you because you're like a little taller than people realize.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So money's gonna be coming on here in just a second. When did the Olympics start? When does your prep for the Olympics start? How does this
I don't know how like aggressively I'll be betting the Olympics.
Okay.
We'll find out, I guess, soon enough, but it might be nice to just kind of like take a break and enjoy a few weeks without like constant daily prep of injuries and games and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have I don't know. I don't know what limits will be like. I don't know what like availability will be like because like the Olympics are kind of, I don't know. Four Nations was actually really good to bet on last year.
Yeah.
It was very easy to get down and very widely available. So I'd imagine it'll be fine. I haven't done much. I don't anticipate doing all that much. I also think I'm going to like maybe take a little break / like dive in and take a little break for like post Olympics, like 1 week just to see how like guys come back and settle in. Cause I think it could be a little bit wonky in that first week back.
Yeah. But
and honestly, like not like Olympics are fun, but like the NHL being on break for 3 weeks as a guy who doesn't care or watch the NBA at all, and then like the Super Bowl being done and like football's over, like college football's over, like spring training doesn't start till February 20th. Like there is nothing for like 2 weeks that I'm going to be. I mean, there's some tennis or some golf, but like my like things that I genuinely care about, it's gonna be pretty rough for a little bit there. And like in February, which is like the absolute worst time of the year if you live in Canada.
Of course. Well, good thing we have the Hammer Daily here to fill in all your betting needs during that time. So actually,
watching it every day.
We don't for 1 week, but we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, we don't for 1 week. Yeah.
Like literally directly in the middle of that span that you're talking about, which is kind of funny here.
Yeah.
But yes.
Which is like logical though, because of how like much less is going on too. So.
Well, we have been running this show every single day. Every single weekday, Monday to Friday, noon Eastern time for 6 months. So,
other than like Christmas, but
Okay, other than Christmas, yeah, fair, and like holidays, but I think we've done a good job so far, and I think chat will miss us. I'll miss chat for a week, but be good to like hit the reset button, refresh as we get into the nitty gritty of the NBA.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right?
There we go. Speaking of absence, your Calder Trophy bet is absent of winning with Matthew Schaefer at minus 650 right now to win the Calder. Chat was asking about awards, and that was the only way I could think of segueing. The only award I really want to talk about right now is the Hart Trophy with Celebrini at plus 450. Does that feel like it should be like a little bit shorter? With McKinnon's having an incredible season, obviously, but like, and maybe we'll get like a Macklin Celebrini is too young to win the award type thing. But like the gap between him and everyone else on his team is so big that like he encapsulates to me what a Hart Trophy winner should look like.
Look, I'm not gonna. I mean, I've given out endless amounts of Demidov, so I understand. Although Demidov has still been great, I stand by. I didn't realize just how generational Schaefer would be and how quickly that would happen.
Yeah.
But so I'm not like just glazing myself here, but if you read the newsletter, you will probably have some Celebrini like 200 to 1, 150 to 1 Hart right now from FanDuel from a couple months ago. So yeah, I think he has a legitimate shot, honestly, if they make the playoffs. And like, good for them yesterday. They have a ton of draft capital. They have a ton of prospects. Like going out and getting Kiefer Sherwood was not on my radar at all. Did not have them as a team that I had buying or like, but like, you know what? It was kind of like the Habs last year. The Habs didn't exactly buy, but like they didn't sell. There's a lot to be said, like getting your young team into the playoffs and getting them that experience. Celebrini to go to the Olympics and then like Celebrini, he has to be a top 6 player for Canada at the Olympics.
Yes.
But there's no way he should not be in the top 6. Like it would be criminal for him not to play top 6 minutes. And then like for him to get that experience and then like to go potentially make the playoffs, because like no one wants to make the playoffs in the West in that 8th spot right now. So like it's very much there for the taking. I love that they went out and did that. And if they do make the playoffs, it's going to have a very, very hard time not giving that award to Celebrini.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Also, like, I was talking with some friends about this. Like, I don't know, like, if they'll have this market for the Olympics, but, like, if I can get, like, a stab at Celebrini, most points scored in the Olympics, I want to take a stab at that because, like you said, he is one of Canada's best players. He deserves to play in the top 6. I think John Cooper can recognize his greatness and put him alongside other great players. So I'm really excited to like hopefully find that market. Hopefully we can take advantage of that. Love that stuff.
I think FanDuel will have that for sure.
Yeah.
FanDuel had a lot of that stuff for Four Nations. So I'd imagine they'll have like team leaders and tournament totals and all that sort of stuff.
Of course, also very price dependent, but like, yeah, I assume he will be pretty further down the board with how many great players will be playing in the tournament. So Money, let's bring him on up here because you mentioned the Kiefer Sherwood trade. I like how we have like a little dominant or a little step. So Money just is so short in his chair. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, what was I going to say? Yes, Kiefer Sherwood trade. He's a Canuck. He was a Canuck. He's your guy. One, are you happy that the Canucks are selling? I assume you are. And two, what do you make of the trade? What can San Jose expect from your boy Kiefer Sherwood?
I think I like the trade. I think that you gotta get what you can get at this point. I think what San Jose gets is going to be a player that does everything right. My only concern with him this season is that he's shooting like 98% this year, right? And like that's not going to continue. But on a team like San Jose, you probably don't need him to be scoring. On Vancouver, there was nobody else who was able to score, right? So they expected that from him in Vancouver. It's going to be a different role for him in San Jose. I think it'll be a role that's probably beneficial for him long term, and I think he's going to be a good fit. Especially if they're able to extend him. I think he's the kind of guy that as this team matures and starts being more relevant in the playoff picture. I don't know about this year how long they're going to be able to stick around. Like, listen, I hope that they make the playoffs, but I just don't know. I don't see this team sticking around the playoff picture for the rest of the season. At some point, I do anticipate that the Sharks will fall off. But if they're able to extend him, I think he's the kind of guy that as they move forward next year and beyond, where theoretically they'll be a larger threat in the playoffs to make the playoffs. I think that he'd be a great fit. And it's just unfortunate that we saw him when he was with Nashville. We saw the way that he played in that playoff series against us, and what he did to Quinn Hughes. Like it would have been nice to see that in a Canucks jersey, but it just wasn't meant to be. Like there's a lot of things with the Canucks that are just I'm starting to accept in my life now that are just not going to be meant. They're just not meant to be. So another thing.
So many. It's just you're so sad when you come on here. It's okay. It's okay. You had good runs. You got to remember. Listen. The good of those runs would never feel as good if we didn't have seasons like this, right? So, you need the good with the bad. Just remember these moments.
Do we pile on and ask him about the Quinn Hughes comments now too, or what?
Sure. Yeah. Fire away.
I don't think he said anything bad, right? Like it's true, right? And like this is the other thing too, right? Like you hear Quinn Hughes comments, you hear Sanderson's comments over the weekend when he was honest in his assessment about the Ottawa goaltending, right? Like we want all these guys to like not give the dump it in deep and chase after it and one shift at a time kind of answers. And then when they do give proper answers, then we want to make a big deal out of it, right? So I didn't think that Quinn Hughes said anything wrong. I mean, I wish that there's a part of me that wishes that there was more accountability for what went wrong and the role that he played in what went wrong. I think that a lot of people just talk about JT Miller and Pettersson, but I think he plays a role in that too. And I think Tocchet plays a role in that too. It's the leadership team that should be held more accountable, in my opinion. And I think that he gets a pass. He can still say what he said and it can be truthful. At the same time, there's also a lack of accountability there as well. And I think that both of those things can be true. It's just, I mean, let's call it for what it is, right? That he was not a good leader, and he was there in a leadership position when that locker room, that dressing room was torn apart for really stupid shit.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's a great point there from you, someone. And also, like, listen, like he was thrusted into the leadership role. Maybe some people just aren't built for that, but you have to have some accountability there. So, yeah. Charles Saul is asking who you want to be the next captain of the Canucks. Or let's just put that on the back burner for the next little bit.
Wow.
If I feel like if no one comes to mind right away, you just shouldn't even give it out, right? Like
I don't think there's a captain on this roster right now.
Yeah. I think that's a good. Fair to say.
I can't think of anybody who I would give the C to right now.
Okay.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well, we experienced that for many years here in Toronto.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's not like entirely uncommon, at least with teams that are going through this much of a rebuild.
Teams that are ass. Yeah, no, I agree.
There's nobody that stands out.
Oh, you said it, not me. Also, Jake Sanderson just walked his comments back. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like literally 10 minutes ago, I was just sending it to a couple of group chats. He said, first off, I'm pretty embarrassed. I think that's the situation where after the game you've got to take a few more minutes. Take a few deep breaths. I talked to Levi after the game and apologized. I still feel really bad. Levi's a great guy, and I think that's not what good teammates do. You don't tear each other down. You build each other up, especially after a game like that. I'm pretty embarrassed. So what he said was, I'm sorry for speaking openly. I was just angry. But next time I will take a minute, collect myself, and lie to make my teammate feel better.
You know what, though? Like, I'm okay with this too, right?
Yeah. For sure, 100%.
I'm okay with him saying what he said in the heat of the moment, and I'm okay with him doing what he did now because that's a sign of leadership as well. Like, no, you probably shouldn't tear your teammates down, right? But again, he said what he said, and he's acknowledging what he said. He owned it, right? And now he's gonna make amends with his teammates. So I mean, I'm fine with both things.
Yeah,
I am fine with what he said here. I think there's what Hughes said. I'm totally fine. I don't think Hughes said anything bad. Like I agree with you fully. saying that you need more than 10 saves is like very accurate and very true, but like is directly throwing your goalie under the bus. And I watched that whole game. I'm a Habs fan.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been thrown under the bus for the most part. So here's my thing with that. He did not have a good game. The OT winner to Caulfield was really bad. And there was one other goal earlier that I thought maybe wasn't great. It was bad. The third goal, Josh Anderson goal was bad, but like the Habs played terrible, but they also scored 4 of their 5 goals that are like pretty much unstoppable. Like Slafkovsky's redirect tip is like you have no chance on that. Carrier's like all the space in the world to just tee one up a one time where he goes basically bar down. You're not saving that. And then Caulfield walks in on a break, pretty much. Like, what are you going to do about that? And then the first one was just another top corner power play shot by Slafkovsky. I mean, you want more saves, but also like you're giving up very few chances, but the chances you're giving up are like just grade A chances. It's kind of tough. You're also hanging them out to dry.
Yeah, and I think we also need a little bit of thicker skin here too, right? Like he had a bad game and he got called out on having a bad game, right? Like,
yeah, but you goalies are very sensitive creatures. You know, we gotta tread lightly around you guys.
Look, like when I have a bad show, right? Like Rob and Alex are on my ass like immediately, right? Like, right? So, like I mean, like it happens, right? Like you had a bad show, you suck, right? So like that's fine, right? So like just do better then.
Yeah, I like that. That's goalie mentality there from So Money. Also, like to be fair to Levi Merilainen, he had 13 saves, so he did get more than 10 saves. Give him a little bit of credit there. All right, let's get into
still in his head.
Exactly. Let's get into this game here. Speaking of the Ottawa Senators, this is the first game I want to talk about on the board. Senators, Blue Jackets right now. Pick them at FanDuel -110 both sides. Totals at 6.5 -132. Alex, you always complain that I make you go second on the games you don't want to talk or you don't want to talk about, you do want to talk about, but go first on the games you don't want to talk about. So I'll let you pick if you want to go first on this one or second on this one.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I haven't bet it yet, but I know I'm gonna end up betting it, and I'm gonna end up betting an under, which is disgusting, like really, really disgusting. And it's not like something I'm dying to do, but again, it's just me being reactionary to goalies and in small sample sizes and seeing if I can get ahead of things a little bit. I wouldn't have done it earlier, but this has run a lot now, and based on where I'm seeing it, kind of. Certain books, I think that the market, it's a sign that the market's going to continue to run. Like we're seeing a +120 on the under 6.5, which is where I would bet it. And I think that a lot of other places will get there. What it boils down to is I think it's just a little bit of an overreaction. Like Reimer was pretty good in his first start. I was pretty surprised. He was good against the Wings, and that's all they need is a little bit of stability because they are a decent defensive team. And if they can just get some they just need a guy playing average to like get back to playing their Sens hockey in low scoring games. They just need a guy not to like get lit up and, make 13 saves on 18 shots. And Elvis, I mean, like I tweeted out kind of like half-heartedly and like joking yesterday, but like is Rick Bowness brought in to tank? Because like he keeps starting Elvis after Jet Greaves has been unbelievable all season and Elvis hasn't. But like, to be fair, he's also going with the hot hand because Elvis has been awesome in his last few starts since Bowness got there. So like maybe there's some signal to him kind of rediscovering his game. And if that's the case, I want to kind of get ahead of it here. And the way we've run on this total is, I think, a little bit crazy now. So if I can get +120, which I don't know if we can necessarily give out as an official bet because it's only available at one spot. But I think we'll get there eventually. So just keep an eye on it. And if we do everywhere else, then yeah, I like that one.
I mean, it's 110 right now, basically across the market. Previously, it was 115 at another sharp spot available in Canada here. And again, like you mentioned, at another sharp out, it's a +120 over there. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. Let it wait for it to maybe run, or if you have access to the other out, that +120 is out there for the taking. So Money, you agree on this under? It's like anytime you have to bet an Ottawa under, I feel like you kind of have to like plug your nose and just click. Is it there for you?
Yeah, it is there for me. I like the number. I will be playing the under. Reimer is projected to start. I think he's pretty much going to start, right? We're not going to be surprised here. And yeah, like we need Reimer to start. So like, I will bet the under. I just need to be sure that it is going to be Reimer. I'm pretty confident
It's
it will
definitely
be. But
Reimer. I think it's because Marilyn was sent down this morning. Jake Sanderson basically ruined his
What a
career.
dick.
So he has been sent down to Belleville, and they called up Hunter Shepard to back up. There's
Okay,
no
and
way
like,
they're going to start Hunter.
yeah,
So,
Shepard's not a serious goalie.
Yeah.
So like, okay, so
yeah.
okay, so Reimer's gonna start. Okay, so yeah, I will bet this under. The other thing too is that we kind of touched on this last game as well. It didn't work out for us, but I still maintain that Columbus does want to play a more defensive game. And I think Bonus, he is a defensive coach. He stresses responsibility defensively. So I think that we are going to see Columbus start tightening it up. And the thing is that this total is already run at 6.5, right? So like if we think that this is going to be a high scoring game, where do you take this number, right? There's just nowhere left to go but down here. So I think that there's value in the under based on the way that Reimer played, based on Ottawa. They haven't been playing that poorly defensively. They just haven't been getting goaltending, and Alex alluded to that as well. And also, I think that Columbus does want to be a more defensive team. So I think that all those elements and the plus money that we're going to be getting on this under, I think that all of them, it's just lined up right now. So I do agree with the under here.
You're good with the plus 110, or you still need that plus 120? You want that?
I'm okay with the plus 110.
All right, so money's good with the plus 110. We're locking that in as an official play for So Money. Then there's also, listen, plus 115 is out there as well as a plus 120, as I see some numbers, like you mentioned, creep up a little bit. Charles in the chat was asking, any chance you guys think this goes to 7? Alex, So Money, just, you think, maybe? No.
I don't think we're quite. I would be a little surprised because we're not quite like Ducks of 3 weeks ago sort of territory where they were just getting blasted. So I don't think so.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on to the next game then. San Jose, the Sharks taking on the Lightning. Lightning right now minus 300 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, minus 110 both sides. Over at FanDuel. So Money, you get to lead the way on this one. Anything you like in this game?
Again, you know that I want to bet the Sharks, but the only team that I don't bet against right now is Tampa Bay. They, like throughout the course of the season, in any season, you have certain teams that the way that they're playing at that point in time is just transcendent, like compared to the rest of the league, and that's where Tampa Bay is right now. Of course, it's not going to last. They're not going to continue winning every game. But until they show that they're starting to slow down or their play is coming back down to the base level, until I start seeing that, I won't be betting against Tampa Bay. I believe that they played, and it was a pretty contentious game, right? These guys played recently, and Tampa Bay. Yeah. So San Jose lost to Tampa Bay. It was January 3rd, and that game got pretty contentious. I think that when you have a situation like that, and like it's a relatively quick turnaround, you do tend to see a tighter game. So it's tough playing San Jose unders. I get it, but we are gonna get the right goaltending matchup. Actually, you know what? Let's just wait because I need to make sure that we get Vasilevsky.
Okay,
I'm okay with Johansson. Like I mentioned, I'm actually fine with Johansson unders now.
Okay.
When he's playing with Tampa Bay, I have evolved to that, and he's fine playing unders with Tampa Bay. It's just that we're gonna get a better number on this under if he is confirmed. So I'd rather get a better number. That being said, I am going to play this under.
Okay.
It's just we just have to wait to see if it's Vasilevsky. I'll play it immediately. If it's Johansson, then we're gonna get a better number. And since we've gone on, there hasn't been a confirmation yet, right?
Not that I've seen. I hear you violently clicking though in the background. I wonder if I thought maybe you were trying to shove in case there was news there.
No, I was looking to see if there is. I've got like I'm going through like my screens and my tabs here, and like, no, there's no confirmation yet. So like, yeah, like I am going to be betting this under, but we'll get a better price if it's Johansson.
All right, waiting on that under then. Right now minus 110. Where do you think do you think that's going to hit like plus money if Johansson gets ruled in?
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're looking for that plus money then for Johansson to be ruled in. If not, we're good with this number with Vasi in. Alex, anything you like in this game? You agree with this under?
Yeah, I didn't bet it. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but I definitely think that's the right side. It's got me looking at it a little closer, at least. I think, but I had this circled as like, wait to see who starts, because I do think Johansson is very possible here. Kind of a weird island game for Tampa, where like they're played a bunch of games on the road, and now they're back home for one game, and then they're immediately back on the road for a few games. It's just kind of a weird spot for them. So feel like it's definitely very possible we get Johansson. Also kind of like unsure what sort of effort we get. Like we saw from the Leafs last night, like they looked terrible, right? But like it's like you have a long road trip and you come back, it's your first game back.
Yeah.
Like you kind of see that sort of often. I think that's a similar situation here for Tampa. Obviously a much better team, Tampa, and against a much weaker opponent than Minnesota, but just like using that as a recent example. So I'm not sure what exactly we're going to get here in terms of effort. And if they are a little bit off, I think that'll only help the under as opposed to an over. So yeah, I would lean that way. I think he's definitely, I think that's the right side.
All right. Can't believe I haven't mentioned this yet, but last night Sharks played goalie fight. Nedeljkovic,
unreal.
Bobrovsky.
Unreal.
Like I obviously I missed it live because I was watching the national championship game, but seeing that on Twitter was pretty shocking. It's also crazy to see because like it was essentially a line brawl. Like everyone was kind of grabbing at each other, and then the goalies engage, and then everyone just kind of stops and stares. It's a pretty magical moment here. He's a former goalie.
Celebrity just like getting so jacked up on the bench. It was unreal.
It was incredible.
It wasn't exactly was good, but like it was fun. It was fun.
It was a good one. It was a good one. Didn't realize there was bad blood between Bobrovsky and Nedeljkovic. So many former goalie used to play for the Canucks. Any opinion?
What's Nedeljkovic's background?
I have no idea.
He's American.
Is he?
How about that? Yeah, wouldn't have guessed that.
From Parma, Ohio, not to be confused with Parma, Italy. So money though. Any take on this?
I thought it was outstanding. I think that stuff like that, especially when you have a young team like San Jose, even for Florida, like a team that's like kind of going through it a little bit right now. It's those kind of things, like little things that people outside of the game may not really understand, like how much it matters, right? But you have a goalie who cares, right? He sees across the ice one of his guys getting hit by another player who's fully padded, right? And so like, yeah, you're gonna come across the ice and you're gonna take care of that, right? So from the Florida side, it's a big deal. It matters, right? From San Jose's side, you have a guy who's being challenged. You're a young team trying to get into trying to make your name in the league right now, and you have your goalie being challenged, and he stepped up, right? There was no turtling there, nothing like that. Like, fine, you're challenging me, we're gonna go toe to toe. Those kind of things resonate throughout the dressing room. Those kind of things matter, right? And it seems, if you talk to somebody outside of the game, it seems so stupid that like it's a fight that it's just a fight, right? But no, this was not just a fight, right? This was something that is gonna like Alex mentioned, like the way that San Jose reacted on the bench, right? There's emotion there. It does matter, and it's these kind of things that will stick with the team. And as San Jose goes forward, as Florida goes forward, like it's these kind of things that these players are gonna hang on to with who are the guys here that want to be here, that have our backs, and I can have his back as well.
All right, yeah, no, good breakdown there. I love that. It was incredible watching that fight. Game's back. Game was gone, but now we're so back. Also, like, good for Nedeljkovic just saying, "Fuck it, let's go." Like Bobrovsky said, wasn't happy with it. He's just instantly just rips
Yeah,
them off.
absolutely.
Good for him.
Yeah, Bob of like back-to-back Stanley Cup wins, literally nothing to prove, no reason to engage with the lowly Sharks, and like that just speaks to like what Florida's built over the last few years, and you know why they've had some of the success that they've had.
Yeah. I hate the Florida Panthers though, but it was good to watch. Let's move on to the next game though. Minnesota, Montreal. Wild coming off an absolute shit kicking of the Toronto Maple Leafs, 6-3 win. Foligno hat trick. Good for him. Marcus Foligno. Minus 132 on the money line. The Habs are totals at 6.5, minus 120 towards the under. Alex, you get to lead with this one. Habs are your favorite team. Do you see a similar result for the Habs as Minnesota gave to the Leafs?
No, I don't. And we've seen some wild money come in throughout the morning, and I'm gonna play back on that now. At this point, I thought it was pretty fair where it opened, and now I think we're at a point where I've seen value on Montreal. I bet minus 123. I think any of these things minus 130 or better, which everywhere is pretty much minus 130. I'm okay with it. Like this is a Habs team that is a little bit up and down, but they've played a ton of hockey. They finally had a couple nights off. I think that's going to do them a ton of good. And we've seen them also under St. Louis really respond when they have these kind of, you know, lay an egg. And I know they won on Saturday, but they were the furthest thing from deserving that win against the Senators. They were not good in that game. I do think Marty has really kind of drilled it in them that they're going to need to see a response. And we have consistently seen responses from them. Whereas the Wild, great team, very, very, very banged up. A lot of hockey being played for them as well. And when you've kind of got to a point where you have this many replacement pieces in the lineup, this many key guys out, to go and do that on back-to-back nights is extremely hard. I think you're going to really – those absences are really going to be felt here. We also have Wallstedt, who's struggled a little bit more of late. So I think I think the Minnesota money has opened up a little bit of value here on the Habs, with, you know, who have been sitting at home for a couple days, waiting for Minnesota, who just played a pretty, you know, decently physical game last night. Really, like, a ton of effort exerted from them. Like, they were pretty much dominant in that game from start to finish. You know, a lot of shots, a lot of intensity, and then also couldn't just coast in the third period because the Leafs made it a little bit interesting there, which kind of you know, made them dial it back in. So I think we're going to see a bit more of a shell of this Wild team tonight, and I think a response from the Habs, and I think there's a little bit of value here at these minus 130s or better.
All right, Alex with the homer bet, Montreal money line minus 130.
Big time.
So money, do you agree with this one?
No, but I'm not confident anymore in the head-to-head in this particular game. I would defer to Alex's thoughts on the Habs over my numbers showing Minnesota. I agree with what Alex is saying in the sense that Montreal has been a little bit up and down, but I think that one thing that I might have missed when I bet the Wild is that at some point these injuries start catching up to you. They have now credit to the Wild. They have played well. I bet them against Buffalo. It was that overtime win on Saturday, and they deserved to win that game. I would have been disappointed if I lost that game because the Wild deserved to win that game. Now, so yeah, I do think at some point the injuries do catch up to them. I'm already in on Wild, so I mean, I'll be able to like scale it down a little bit, but but just for transparency, I did bet the Wild. I don't feel as confident anymore. But one thing that has stood out, and I did make this bet as well, is the under 6.5 up to minus 120. So there's a couple elements here, right? If what Alex is saying is correct, that that Montreal responds, the way Montreal responds would be on a defensive basis. They'll be better defensively. That's theoretically what a Montreal response would be. And in terms of Minnesota, if we are correct that at some point these injuries start catching up with Minnesota, the first thing to go with Minnesota is going to be their goal production and their chance generation, right? So if both those things are held true and they converge, that means that we need to bet the under in this game. So at up to minus 120 would be where I'm betting it.
All right, we're looking for the under up to minus 120. There's some better spots out there if you shop around, but minus 120 right now over on FanDuel for the Montreal, Minnesota under 6.5 here. Next game we have on the board is the Bruins taking on the Stars. Stars right now minus 140 on the money line at home. Totals at 6, minus 112 towards the under. So many. We'll start with you in this one. Anything you like in this game?
A little bit of a tough one. I understand the Stars number, especially now that the Bruins took some money in the morning. I don't have a bet in this game. I'm not going to be betting this game. I can't get on the Stars because even with the Bruins money bringing that number down, I still haven't seen enough from Dallas. And we talked about this the other day. I need to see something from Dallas here, right? Like show me some signs of life. We're not seeing anything, right? And even if you feel that Boston is gonna fade away, if you're in that camp, they're still playing well, right? So yeah, so I missed the number on Boston. I would have wanted Boston in the 150s. I would want Dallas a lot cheaper than they are right now. So I'm priced out on the side, and then on the total, it's a little bit of an issue on the total as well because Dallas is not playing well defensively. So that should translate to an over there. But Boston is also playing well defensively as well. So there's a lot of conflicting elements in this game. So priced out on the side, can't get on the total either because there's too much variance there. So it's a long way of saying that I won't be betting this game.
All right, nothing for so money in this one. Alex, you got anything for us here?
I'll take the short route to saying I have nothing to bet in this game because I think he covered it pretty well, and I got nothing in this one. So
all right, let's move on to let's move on actually a little bit later on in the night here and go to the Devils and Oilers game because a lot of chatter in the chat going on about this. It looks like Podkolzin is going to be on the first power play, so a lot of people are looking for him maybe to score a goal or score a point. And I believe, did we get a goalie? We might have been gotten a goalie confirmation in that game as well. I just cannot see it right now in the chat.
Yeah, Ingram starting. It was before we came on.
Okay,
Ingram was starting because Jari's going to be starting against his former team.
So, but Jordan in the chat just said Jari starting, not Ingram. So I don't know if something has changed there.
Something must have changed.
So
Ingram was already confirmed before.
Sometimes these beat writers, man, they have a thankless job, but can't be giving us this misinformation. Maybe we'll pull a little digs out and start tweeting at them, asking if they know ball, asking if they know puck. Jason Gregor says Ingram's. Nope. Tony Brar OTV. Correction from this morning. Jari will start versus New Jersey.
Gregor said Gregor's the one who I saw that said Ingram starting, and now when we were on, he said cancel that. Ingram was starter. It was in starters net in practice, but he's still on the ice, and Jari came off first. Jari is starting as Ingram keeps taking shots well after practice. Okay.
All right. As Mendoza said, he's willing to take shots from the front or the back. Anything you like in this game, Alex?
I bet the Devils now. I think that I don't like this team very much. I don't think there's a huge gap between Jari and Ingram. I don't like the Devils too much. I think it's just a price thing. The Oilers haven't missed Draisaitl yet because they haven't played a team that would make them miss Draisaitl. They've had a really easy 2 games without him, obviously playing Vancouver and then playing Jordan Binnington. That's a cakewalk. Win 6-0 and 5-0. You don't even have to break a sweat. This is a much tougher test against the Devils team that is slowly starting to turn it around and play better hockey. I do like the way that obviously Edmonton is playing too, but you take a guy like Draisaitl out, I don't think there's a big enough adjustment just because it hasn't, I guess, needed to be because of how good they've been in their last 2 games. But again, that's largely down to opponents. So we're just too high here, and like it's run still since this morning, and we're at a point where like I don't like the Devils. I don't necessarily love betting on this team. I don't love fading Edmonton right now, but with no Draisaitl and how high we've gotten, I bet plus 163, and we're still pretty like close to there at a number of spots. I think like plus 155 or better is good.
All right, we're looking at the plus 155 for the Devils here or better. I'll give it to you. Because there is some 155s out there. You okay with the 150? I'm going to write it down as 150 if that's okay with you.
Sure. We'll write it down as 150.
All right. So money? Anything you like in this game?
No, I don't disagree with Alex in terms of the pricing on the Devils. And if it's just a price play, then yeah, that's fine. I don't disagree with that. My only concern is that even without Draisaitl, I still have a tough time betting against this Oilers team right now. And yeah, they haven't played anybody lately, but they're still playing well and they're doing what they need to do, right? Like it's like the Patriots, right? Like you can only play who's in front of you, although the Patriots will lose this week.
Whoa.
Yeah, but the thing is that pricing wise, I agree with Alex. I don't see it in terms of the way that Edmonton is playing. The under would have made sense here, but again, Edmonton is taking care of their business even when they're playing lesser teams without Draisaitl. Mm-hmm. So I would have wanted a better number on the 6. It's not going to come. I would have wanted a better number on both the sides. That's not going to come. So it's another game that I will be passing.
All right. So other sports passes on this one, so money passes on this one, but so other sports gives out an official release here. Denver plus 205 on the money line against New England this weekend.
I bet them spread and the money line as well.
All right. You did say they were going to win, so that's why I didn't mention their spread here. But obviously, if you think they're going to win, you obviously like the spread there, which we've seen bounce around between the 4.5, 5.5 dead range. Anyways, we talked about that another time. All right, let's skip over this game. You have nothing, so money there. Alex liked the Devils at plus 155. Fine, I'll give you the 155. Next game on the board. 3 games left. You guys know the drill. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button and share it with a friend who likes hockey. Send them this video. Maybe they'll like this. So, Chosen Sports pointing out a plus 165, saying I don't give you good numbers, Alex. So, fine, we'll give you the plus 155. St. Louis, Winnipeg. Jets right now minus 126 on the money line. Totals at 1.6 minus 118. So money, we'll start with you on this one. Is this a pass for you as well, or you got something for us in this game?
No, this one I am betting. We know that we're going to get Comrie in goal, right? That's pretty much confirmed here
now. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that like he's like we've like talked about him before, right? Like he's not that bad. He's not as bad as like the market wants to make him out to be. And this year, yes, Hellebuyck is exponentially better, right? And like there's not many goalies that are better than Hellebuyck, but this year the way that they played, the difference is not that significant. It is significant, but it's not as much as the market wants it to run. I think that the Jets, for the most part, they are playing better defensively. That Toronto game, it got away from them a little bit, but beyond that, the teams that don't tend to go back and forth, the Jets play well defensively against them. And I don't view St. Louis as a team that kind of gets after it, right? So I think that that bodes well for the way that the Jets want to play defensively. St. Louis, I touched on this earlier. I don't necessarily like to bet St. Louis games because they're all over the place. They're like the East version of Carolina for me, right? So St. Louis is just all over the place. But in this kind of in this situation, if I do feel that the Jets are probably going to carry the play in this game, even with Comrie and Ned, and if I think the Jets are going to win, it is going to be based on a low-scoring game. And I think that for the most part, the Blues should be okay with that as well. So under 6, I like that up to -115.
All right, up to -115, -110's out there. Under 6, up to -115 for the Jets Blues game. Alex, you tailing some money on this one?
No, I got nothing in this game. I agree with his look, and I think Comrie being back
also
in the backups.
Halford just confirmed as well
Hofer
from the
confirmed,
chat.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Saw that. Yeah. I think it would be under nothing. I didn't bet anything here. I think Comrie being back in a backup role will suit him, and we'll see his play kind of come up a little bit. But I didn't bet this game. There were some crazy Blues numbers early at open that are obviously long gone. But not enough. Like I'm not at a point where like this Blues money is making me want to buy back on the Jets. So nothing here.
All right, nothing here. Passing along. 2 more games on the board. Nashville, Buffalo, Predators -128 on the money line at home. Totals at 6.5, -126 towards the under. Alex, you'll start with us here. Is this another pass for you? Or you got something for us?
We are all Predators. I bet the Preds here. Yeah, I bet them. They've been playing really well and tick down just enough where, look, the Sabres are playing good too. They've lost 2 in a row, but they haven't necessarily seen a dip in their play. Big thing for me here that I think isn't fully being captured is this is the 5th game in 7 nights for Buffalo. Like it's just an obscene amount of hockey for them. Nashville's had a much lighter schedule of late, and they are playing really, really well. And we've also hit like kind of our peak on the Sabres in the market. So it's just kind of all opened up a little bit of value here on the Preds. And I like them pretty much at every available number. But yeah, obviously get the best you can.
Yeah. Number -120, -125's out there. We'll say -1, good to -125 for you on Nashville. But you also said good to that -128, which is available on FanDuel. So
yeah. If you need to grade me at a 28, you can do it. But
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just shouting out our sponsor over at FanDuel, which we absolutely know.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We're always actually pretty sharp with these hockey lines. It's just a little intimidating, but maybe we'll dip into the prop market a little bit more. But anyways, last game on the board here. Wait, did I? No, I didn't ask you about this one. Sorry. I can't believe I skipped over you. Anything you like in this game?
Yeah, let's go ahead and make this a double best bet.
There we go, the DBB.
I agree. It's a tough scheduling spot for Buffalo. And one thing that we've learned about the Sabres this year is that they are a highly, highly streaky team. And right now, and I'm not talking necessarily in terms of the results. I'm talking about in terms of their play. So right now, we've seen the last few games that they have not been playing well. And that, for them, tends to be very streaky. So there's been times this year where they have been playing well, they get results, or they don't get results. So results for me is a secondary with them. If I'm pretty confident that they're going to continue the way that they've been playing, combined with their scheduling spot, combined with, I think Nashville is one of those sneaky teams that are still flying under the radar, but they've really turned their season around. And I think that they're still not getting, I don't want to call it market respect, but they're not getting the correct pricing in the market just because of the way they started, their sentiment after last year, and in general, they just fly under the radar. So if you like a team like Nashville, you're going to continue getting good prices on them. And that's where we are right now. So I do like Nashville. I think they respond after what happened last game, which was following a game where they beat Colorado 7-3 in Colorado, right? So like I'm not gonna hold them getting their asses kicked the next night against them too much after you just won in Colorado. So I think that we're still getting good prices on Nashville, and this is a team that, frankly, I think that going forward, they're actually going to be okay. So I like them. We'll get Saros in net, and it's just too cheap on Nashville here.
All right, shout out Jordan in the chat for the recent Preds resurgence, because a month ago he bet Preds worst record And now they got the juice, apparently. Now they got the juice. Last game on the board, Rangers, Kings. What happened to Albert? Is he alive? Can we get an update? Is he still sweeping the ice?
He's doing well. He's not sweeping the ice.
He's not.
He's not sweeping the ice currently. He's on a leave of absence from the Rangers, just like that entire team is on a leave of absence from playing hockey. But he's doing well. He's doing well. He's sends his regards, and we'll get him on here soon. He actually messaged me last week, and he's like, "Oh, you should have had me on today to talk about the Rangers and that letter." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? You telling me after the show? Like, message me in the morning if you want to come on." Like, I don't understand.
Oh man. Honestly, that speaks to the type of just speaks to him a lot. Not the type of person he is. Maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but like just his character. He's just a funny guy. He's a funny guy. It's his personality. That's what it is. Anyways, let's talk Rangers. Let's talk Kings. Kings right now -184 on the money line over at FanDuel. Totals at 6 -122. Juice towards the under, but it's between that 6 and 5.5 range. Some other spots have the 5.5 juiced over. FanDuel right now, like I said, 6 juiced under -122. So if you like that 6 and the under, I think that's the best spot you're going to get it. But so money, we'll start with you. What do you like?
How can I bet against both teams?
I don't know.
So like the Kings, like I don't need to go in on the Kings again. Like we all know my thoughts on the Kings. I think they stink, right? And they need to make some sort of move there because the season is starting to get away from them. The season has already gotten away from the Rangers, right? So usually I want to look the under here. We should get Quick in net. Now the thing with Quick is that he was struggling, and the reason he was struggling is because he was playing too many games. Now he got a couple of games off here with Spencer Martin in net. He should start the second of the back-to-back here. So it kind of makes me think that he may be okay. But that also means that I'm guessing, right? And I don't want to guess like that on a total of 5.5. There's just not a lot of margin of error there. So I will pass. Looked at the under, can't bet the Rangers. So hopefully both teams lose. I don't know.
Hopefully both teams lose, regardless of you betting on it.
3-point game now. Guaranteed 3-point game.
You just want both teams to lose. Connor Hartle in the chat saying the best way to bet on both teams losing is regulation tie, which is plus 280.
And we all lose.
I know, yeah, I guess.
Watch another 5 minutes of this game.
Alex, anything you like in this game, or you also just...
No, I think there's a lot of uncertainty around Quick right now and if he's cooked or not. Again, bit of a small sample, but it was a pretty miserable run for him. And you're getting to that age where you can kind of fall off the cliff in a hurry as a goalie. So I need to see a little bit more from him. Not rushing to bet an over in this game and not betting an under with Quick and not looking to back either of these teams. So, I'm going to pretend this game basically just doesn't exist.
All right. Sounds good. Pretending the game doesn't exist, and we will also pretend this game doesn't exist. Not on our card tonight. So run through the card before we head out here. So money, you got the Blue Jackets and the Ottawa under 6.5 plus 110, but we're waiting for the goalie confirmation. Or sorry, Alex, you're waiting for the goalie confirmation here. That's also a double best bet. You got San Jose, Tampa Bay. Waiting for the under if Johansson's in because we might get a better price. But if Johansson's not in, we'll just take the number right now on Vasi. Montreal, Minnesota under 6.5 -120. Winnipeg, St. Louis under 6 -110. Nashville -125 for another double best bet. Alex, same thing. Columbus Blue Jackets, Ottawa. You will bet the under 6.5 again, waiting for that goalie confirmation. Montreal -130 on the money line. Big homer bet for you. Devils money line plus 150. And then finally, Nashville -125 on the double best bet. And that wraps the show today. Any final thoughts before we head out, guys? Alex, I'll let you start.
Go Habs go.
Go Habs go.
Looking forward to springtime in Montreal.
There we go. So money.
Let's have a night, guys.
Let's have a freaking night. Yep. There we go. Maybe another goalie fight. Probably not.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Probably not. So money, Alex, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Awesome stuff there from Alex from So Money. And So Other Sports as well with the Denver plus 205 release for So Other Sports. Gonna ask you for a third time today. This wraps up the show, but do us a favor before you head out. Smash the like button. It goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. Connor in the chat asking who trades for Panarin. Is it anyone other than the Vegas Golden Knights? It's just always the Vegas, or is it going to be the Panthers? Which two do you pick? I'll let you decide. Smash the like button, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you're on Twitter, do us a favor, come over, smash the like button, double check, make sure you're subscribed if you're not watching us on Twitter, because those subscriptions matter. It does a lot for us in the algorithm. Just every subscriber counts, even if you'd like to choose to watch it on Twitter, which is fine. You can do that. Just double check, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. And that's it. That wraps up today's show. Shout out to our guests. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to So Money. Great job from all of them today. This has been the Tuesday, January 20th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bang Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.